All right, boys. So we got ourselves an interview. And of course, Insider Gaming could not wait, right? They couldn't wait. They saw all the backlash this developer was getting. They saw all the hate that the game was getting. And they're like, we need to jump on this ASAP before someone else does. And they did, because they managed to snag an interview with the CEO, Ben Myers, of the brand new game. I'm sorry, the African futurist heist game, Relooted. That's a genre now. African futurist. Whatever the hell that means. Okay, well, whatever. Besides the point. So we managed to snag an interview with the CEO. So I feel like you should grab your popcorn because this is going to be interesting, boys. So last week, I had an early look at the African futurist heist game, Relooted. Yeah, heist game. Let's call it that. A new non-violent. I like how they had to specify non-violent because the characters are black. So they got to make sure you realize that it's non-violent. You know what I mean? Don't assume. Don't assume. Action puzzle game developed by the same developers that brought us Semblance. At face value, the game instantly reminded me of recent Metroidvania hits like Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, and Tales of Kenzera. But with no violence in the game, it was an interesting twist that I needed to know more about. Yeah, I know how you guys absolutely hate violence. Right? You guys hate violence so much that you're currently in LA burning everything down right now. But hey, listen, violence is bad, right? Aside from how the gameplay looks, the story evolves around a crew of African citizens from various different African countries who want to reunite stolen artifacts that were stolen by Western museums. It's a subject that the developers are clearly passionate about because, well, they got government money. No. In the developers' own words, the development studio consists of mostly black African developers. Guys, now we saw the picture of the development team, right? We saw the picture of the development team. Were they mostly black? Were they mostly black, guys? Come on. Can we be real? Where's the holy shit?
Holy shit.
They were not mostly black at all, by the way. They were actually pretty damn white. I would say there's probably a 60-65 split. I don't know if I can find the picture. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Let me copy and paste this. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, I did find it. Wow, that was quick. All right, you want to see this all black team? This mostly black team? Here we go. That's the mostly black team that they're talking about. Majority black developers right here for the world to see, boys. Majority black developers. Yep. I would say that these all look black. Yeah, they all look black. Especially this guy. This guy is the blackest motherfucker I've ever seen in my life. Come on. Let's be real. You know it. I know it. They know it. This is the blackest guy by far on the team. Come on, guys. Be honest. Okay? So they're trying to say that this is majority black. Where if you count this, let's see, how many black people do we have? Let's see. Let's start from the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He don't look black, but whatever. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We got 13 black people. 13 black people. How many white people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We got 11 white people. Did I count that right? 11 white. Did I count the guy in the back? I don't know. 11 white people. Or am I counting this wrong? Let me try it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 11 white people. It's 11 white people. So at this point, it's almost a 50-50 split. And again, that's giving the benefit of the doubt that this guy is black, but he don't look black. He don't look black, especially this guy. This guy don't look black. He look Indian. This guy looks Indian over here in the back corner. But whatever. Anyway, we're talking about a 50-50 split, and yet they're like, well, it's majority black. It's mostly all black. Interesting. So let's continue with the interview. Where is it at? Let's see. Let's get right to the nitty gritty over here. Let's see what we got going on with this. So again, it's mostly black, and they're clearly passionate about because, well, in the developers' own words, they're mostly black African developers. Politics aside, which I acknowledge will be hard to ignore for some, the game looks cool, sure. And as the game contains 70 real-life artifacts that the player will be given information about, they are relooted. It has the potential to be a good educational resource. This is going to be a good educational resource. That's the entire reason why a game like this exists, by the way. This is the entire reason a game like Dustborn existed, by the way. These games exist not for the purpose of making money, not for the purpose of getting sales. They exist for the sole idea to try to indoctrinate whatever idiots decide to buy the game. That's literally it. That's all it's about. So with the interest peaked, they decided to interview the CEO. Insider Game managed to interview the CEO of the company. Let's see what he had to say. First, I was curious about the new change in the direction that the team had taken, which was a universe away from their first project Semblance. On this, Myers said the following. When we first started working on this concept in late 2018, it was never the intention to make a game of this scale and production value. Did you guys see production value in this shit? Why? Because you have voice acting where your last game didn't have any voice acting? Yet the concept always felt like it deserved a certain level of effort and budget. It's a game and story begging to be told, and we just wanted to make sure it was told in the most high quality and broadly appealing way possible. So, wait a second. So hold on. By the way, these people getting cooked in their Steam forums. We're gonna take a look at their Steam forums in a second. So this story is begging to be told, right? This story is begging to be told because clearly everybody has been asking about a group of black people stealing artifacts, bringing it home, glorifying theft, justified theft, right? That's what they like to call it. This is justified stealing. This is the story that had to be told. Everybody needed to see it. Everybody needed to hear it. We've sort of made several games while making this game. There are smaller scope prototypes, completely different genres, and more toned down narrative, visual, and animation scope versions of the game. But over time, it just felt like trying to make the story and art to the level we've made it was important as part of the broader importance of the game. With that change in direction and scope, it's already been reported that the headcount for Relooted will be much larger than that of Semblance, with the team going from less than 10 to around 30 developers. Now, guys, when is the last time that we have seen a core development team of around 30 people? When's the last time? Does anybody remember? The last time we saw that was with Expedition 33. Now look at that game and look at this game. And tell me what the fuck is going on. Tell me what's going on. How is that possible? How is it possible that this team of half black, half white developers, because remember, diversity is our strength. Diversity is our strength, right? So if diversity is our strength, then that tells me that you guys should be absolutely fucking cooking. You guys should be cooking, right? So when I look at your game that's made by 30 some odd people, and it looks like a mobile running game versus Expedition 33 made by 30 some odd core people, and it looks like a AAA game. What are we doing? What are we doing? But in any case, on the change in scope, Myers said the following: the full-time team of Semblance only peaked at 3. Oh, 3. 3 people. The full credits of Relooted will be much longer than the 30 full-time peak we reached too. The challenges have been constant and evolving on the project. It's likely the single biggest game project ever made in sub-Saharan Africa by budget, team, size, and scope. Moreover, it's made in an engine no one on the team knew well, which was Unreal Engine, by a team filled with folks who hadn't shipped the game before, at least in their role, making an experimental game artistically imagining the future of Africa, mechanically, non-violent heists, narratively adapting heist stories to games, and musically a futurist sound with traditional African instruments. So there's a couple of red flags in there. It was made in an engine that nobody knew how to use. Why? Why? By a team filled with folks who hadn't shipped the game before. So you have people on your team that don't know how to use Unreal Engine, that never shipped the game before. So they never took it to completion and shipped the video game before. What the fuck? What the fuck? So we just flat out admitting that you guys don't know what the hell you're doing. By a team filled with folks who hadn't shipped the game before, making an experimental game, mechanically, and all that nonsense. We've had almost too many challenges to count or document. It's been quite the journey, but the game's concept deserves us taking on those challenges, and we're pretty happy with the output. Looping back to the game's design, I asked Myers on the inspiration for the game because, again, with an initial first look, the game seems to be heavily inspired by Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown and Tales of Kuntera-Zao. 2 games that I thoroughly enjoyed. On the game's inspiration, it was said the following. Interestingly enough, when we started development, there wasn't always a ton of readily available reference gameplay. Even today, it's a weirdly difficult game to pin down references to. Yeah, because there isn't many games where you are stealing as a group of black people and trying to bring back artifacts to Africa. There's not that many studies, you know what I mean? There's not that many examples. So you kind of have to make it up on your own. Red flag everywhere. Red flag everywhere, boys. We struggled with the design for quite a while. How to make an interesting mechanical adaptation of heist movies was tricky. Most heist games are shooters and don't always feel accurate to the vibe and sensibilities of, say, an Ocean's 11. It was only when Teardown came out that something clicked. That gameplay loop in Teardown was a breakthrough. The fact that you'd pick up an objective and then the alarm goes off forced you to have a great plan thought out before. Our friends at Landfall Games helped us prototype a side-scroller version of that loop, and then the game's direction was set. There were lots of design challenges after that point, but it was only after that breakthrough that the game started having more and more of that fluid traversal. It just made sense to have it as part of executing the escape that you set out. So neither Tales of Persia, The Lost Crown, nor Tales of Kuntera-Zao were references really, but the comparisons make sense based on where we ended up. I think in our game, the fluid traversal is more rewarding experience feeling that comes from a good heist plan, rather than the core mechanical challenge like in those games. Bro. Where do I even begin? I don't even know what, like, when did it become okay for developers to admit that they don't know what the fuck they're doing? When did that become okay? Like, when did that become acceptable? Is it something where they go around in these shows that they do and they're like, yeah, this game was made by people that don't know what they're doing, or this game's about to release now and be shipped by people who never shipped a video game before, so don't worry, we promise to have an amazing release. It's gonna be bug free. So what about those 70 real-life artifacts that players can reclaim within the game? Well, I was curious on why they picked 70 specifically and what that learning process were like. There are estimates that over 90% of African culture heritage is in possession of Western collections, which is a lot of artifacts. So really the big issue was selecting which artifacts to use rather than finding the artifacts at all. This game is going to be dead on arrival. I was trying to think of like something better to say than that, but there is nothing better to say than that. This game will genuinely be dead on arrival. And even if it wasn't for the controversy, I would even go as far to even say that because of the controversy, it's going to garner way more sales than it ever was going to by itself. This game is easily like 100 concurrent player kind of game. And yet the controversy will probably bring it to like 200-300, depending on how many streamers want to play it and make fun of it, essentially, because that's really what most people are going to do. I don't think many people are going to review this game seriously. But this is where we're at, man. This is where we're at. Rather than focus on more functional artifacts, we really wanted to get across the importance of some of the artifacts that are kept in these collections. Some of these are the single most important cultural artifacts to the people who they were taken from. And we just wanted players to have that information and understand why it might not make sense for those artifacts to be in Western collections. Oh, so they get to decide. They get to decide. Oh, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, I suppose. The process of learning about them was quite lengthy. We had full-time researchers over about 2 years, one 3D artist over about 12 months who was just modeling artifacts, and also a researcher who helped us put together an artifact pronunciation guide. These authenticities and accuracy of these artifacts was important to us, so we invested a lot of time and resources into them. Considering they're in Western museums, it might be the closest an average African gets to one of those artifacts, so it's important that the experience is as accurate and detailed as possible. You think Hills versus Baby play Az is planning on playing this game? Godspeed, bro. Godspeed to Az, man. So 70 is the final number, but how exactly does that translate into gameplay length? Is it one artifact per level? And how does all this translate into game time on that? They said the following. This game will likely be roughly 10 to 15 hours, maybe longer. That playtime is split amongst a variety of different gameplay that the heist story takes us along as it twists and turns. Okay. 10 to 15 hours. Pretty much expected. How much is this game going to be again? I forgot how much this game's going to be. Sometimes you'll be acquiring crew members. Sometimes you'll be prepping for missions. And then you'll be heisting. Heists can have anywhere between 1 to 5 artifacts per a level. So it really depends. Oh, boy. I also quickly asked Myers if the game will come to other consoles or not. Because at the moment, the game is only slated for Xbox Series X and PC. They said no plans for other consoles at this time, but if the game does well, we'd always be interested in supporting other platforms. If the game does well. Guys. He said with all his chest, hold on. He said with all his chest, if the game does well.
Holy shit.
If the game does well, it can come to other platforms. So that's a really long way of saying it's never going anywhere else, right? Is that can we safely say that basically is what I'm saying? Can we safely say that it's never going anywhere else? That it's going to simply stay on Xbox and it's going to be a Game Pass fodder game that is meant to just literally fodder Game Pass as much as possible to stop people from unsubbing? And that's basically it. This shit's insane. So I wanted to share this interview with you. I thought it was hilarious. And it goes to show the level of just complete disconnect that these developers have with the gamers. They may potentially buy their game or not. This is a pure and utter disconnect. Exactly. No, you're 100% right, Solantis. I'm pretty sure it never counted on being profitable and just got the DEI support paycheck from the EU and considered it done. You're 100% right. You are 100% right. This kind of video game was never meant to be profitable. It was never meant to sell in mass amounts or anything like that. At least not the current form that we're seeing. I would consider that to be damn near impossible at this point. I do think the game will hit triple numbers, like maybe like 110, 120. I don't think it's going to do double digits. I think it's going to be slightly above that because now it's caught the attention of a lot of streamers and people who are going to use it to make fun of it, right? Speaking of making fun of it, how's the Steam forums doing? Let's go check out the Steam forums real quick, and then we'll get to the waifu battle. Hold on, this shit's hilarious. So Relooted so much since I did a video on it. Bro, everybody's coming for their ass, bro. This is crazy. Because now, let's see. Now they should be awake. Anti-woke fatigue? Anyone else exhausted by anti-woke activists getting mad just because they see a black person in a game? Yeah, because that's clearly the entire conversation, right? We're just angry over the fact that there's a black person in the game. That's what we're angry about. Even though we're talking about literally everything else. You're like, nope, it's only because they're black. Like, wow, that's really simplifying things, but sure, okay. People's jobs are at stake. I love this. I love this meme. You guys know I love this meme. Retarded. Please add Carer 4 DLC with counterfeit $20 bills. Kangs. Oh, this is going to be good. Woke right gamers running amok once again. George Floyd says, pirate this game. Highly realistic game. This game has one of the most realistic depictions of black people I've ever seen in video game history. The only thing they do is loot and steal. I'm calling based. This shit's crazy, bro. This is the Steam forum. Man, I love the Steam forums. You guys have no idea. I would just go through the Steam forums and laugh at everything I see. Gamers had one job, to not be racist. Yeah, okay. Looking forward to this game. White Lives Matter. White Lives Matter. Will there be Air Jordans? That's a good question. Who's free to cop this game when it comes out for real, for real? Hey, yo, hold up. Black Panther is white. A country's greatest treasure is its people. Steal this. And you can see what you can see here on the screen. Any Target and Walmart bonus maps for future pre-orders? Let's predict what the reviews are going to be. Dustborn 2. Not woke, by the way. Really? Are we sure about that? So in any case, they're getting roasted on Steam. And if you guys want to go laugh at it, you're more than welcome to go check out Steam. It is insane what's happening with this game. But it's deserved at this point. I mean, I really don't know what else to say other than that. It is absolutely deserved. Every bit of it is deserved. And it's only going to get worse. When's this game come out? Let me check. When's this game come out? This game comes out. Oh, we don't know. There's no release date. We have no idea. Okay, so whatever. At this point, it could be 2026 for all we know. Whatever. That's fine. All right, guys.